Hello Internet, I'm Deanna Jean Pierce and this is my spiritual YouTube channel, The Faith That Grows. And today I have a PSA for the Church of Union, if they're listening, if they care, which is, I'm not sure that they do. So I just made a Facebook post about this, and it says, controversial opinion. The Church of Union should not act like it's a privilege to belong there. That's why I said controversial opinion. The Church of Union should not act like it's a privilege to belong there. Everyone should feel like something is missing until every last child of God is home. The energy should be welcome home. It wasn't the same without you, because that's how God feels. This is a fundamental shift that the church needs to go from being shallow and full of spiritual ego to truly embracing its role on the planet. And then I put a gif of Blink-182 singing Where Are You from the song I Miss You. So I'm very aware that this is not really how the church currently operates. If I'm wrong, please correct me. I don't care if I'm wrong or right. That's not really the point. The point is how I'm being treated, what I'm experiencing, and what it's bringing up for me to talk about. Dan Thalen, who is a fellow unionist, he likens the Church of Union to like Harvard, where it's like really hard to get in, and if you do the wrong thing, you're gonna get removed, and it's really hard to get back in, and there's all these requirements. And I think, I can't speak for him, but I think that the reason he is feeling this way is because he's trying to wrap his mind around the fact that he got removed too. And so he's trying to like justify his ban by saying, oh yeah, I just flunked out of Harvard. It's very simple. No, this is not how I feel. This is not how I see things. I just got done watching the latest After Church Tea Time from the Church of Union, and in it, Christy Poole referenced the song Come As You Are by Nirvana, and all I could feel at the time is, what the fuck? Then if this is the church's stance, is that you should come as you are, then why am I not included in that? So the church is either Harvard, the spiritual Harvard, like Dan has been saying, or it's Woodstock and everyone can come if they want to. So you gotta pick. Church of Union has to make a decision. And whatever decision it makes, it needs to apply to all people. If the Church of Union is really a church where you can come as you are, then it doesn't matter if you're depressed. It doesn't matter how deep the depression is. It doesn't matter how much trauma you have. It doesn't matter if you're married, single, widowed, engaged, dating. It doesn't matter LGBTQ stuff. It doesn't matter if you're really overweight or super skinny. It doesn't matter if maybe you're even like, I don't know, like I have Tourette's, for example. Shouldn't matter. Lots of anxiety shouldn't matter. I mean, I'm not currently experiencing a lot of anxiety, but if you have, like, if you going through cancer, if you're an atheist or agnostic, by the way, I just really want to make it known, I've never been an atheist, ever, even though Jeff and Shaleia told me via email when I was being banned that I was an atheist. Never been an atheist, never will be. But even if I were, if the Church of Union truly is the come as you are party that I want it to be, that people are kind of acting like it's supposed to be, then that includes me. Excuse me. That includes Dan. So it doesn't matter, right? So you can't have the church constantly saying one thing and doing another. That it doesn't work that way. That's not okay. It doesn't work that way. Which is it? Pick one. Is this Woodstock, or is this a closed club for the spiritual elite? Pick one and then stick with it, and that applies to everyone. If someone has anger problems, if someone is healing bargaining, for instance, who cares? If someone has illusions or resistance, like, so what? They can probably still really have fun and be part of everything and contribute in their own special, unique way, and then it will change and grow with time. So which is it? Pick one and stick with it. And my relationship with God says, yeah, this is supposed to be Woodstock. It's supposed to be a revolution. It's supposed to be an uncontrollable wildfire of passionate growth and love. Which means you don't tell people how to think, and it means that everyone's included. And if someone's done something wrong, that can be addressed in an instant, and then they can move on with their life, because God doesn't punish. And so I'm the type of person where if I've made a mistake, I immediately apologize, or as soon as I can apologize, make things right, and move on. Because what is the point? What would the point be of not just, like, why am I still being excluded? Ostracism and exclusion is a form of bullying. Purposely keeping someone out when there's not really a good reason, that is a form of bullying. And so even though this teaching is wonderful and it's sacred and all these things, well, if you're gonna treat people the way I'm being treated, then you can't reference Come As You Are by Nirvana in an after church tea time. You can't do that because you're not living up to it. If I get to come as I am, that means I don't have to have all my shit figured out. I don't have to be in perfect union with God. I don't have to seriously? The Church of Union needs to make a choice. If it's really going to be Come As You Are by Nirvana, well, okay then. But then you have to open the door to everyone. Or you can't reference that song. You can't quote that mentality because the church isn't living up to it. So there either needs to be two different Church of Unions where one is super selective and elitist and the other is the Come As You Are party, or the whole church needs to get on board with come as you are. And that means, why am I being ostracized? Is it because I have a big energy? Big leaders have big energy. I've also been through a lot of trauma, which sometimes inexplicably manifests and comes up to be moved through. That's perfectly fine, right? So I can't take this anymore, this hypocrisy. You're gonna quote Come As You Are by Nirvana in an after church tea time while I'm banned for really no good reason? What is really going on here? So, this kind of goes in tandem with something that I've been thinking about for a long time that I've been meaning to make a video about, which is Jeff and Shaleia's class about pure love consciousness and how to navigate it, which I fundamentally disagree with. Now, when I've communicated this to Dan, he's like, well, if you disagree, then you're not a unionist. Not the case. God created a lot of different spiritual teachers that are all going to interpret and communicate things differently for very specific reasons. There's nothing wrong with how I was created. So their class on pure love consciousness and how to navigate it, in my opinion, is not the best way to approach life and relationships. Because in this class, they punished, in my opinion, they punished their dog Charlie, their soul pet dog Charlie, while they were in the process of discovering what the problem in their relationship with him was. And so they were trying to weed out a pattern in the relationship, and they isolated Charlie as they were figuring out what the problem in the relationship was. I don't agree with this method of approaching relationships. Anyone can do what they want, like do whatever you want. But in my opinion, you shouldn't ever treat a person or animal like they are the problem, because then they experience, even if it's temporary, they experience this harsh energy of ostracism and punishment for no good reason. And then the solution ended up being that he just needed exercise. So Charlie went through all that for nothing. It was something as simple and not Charlie's fault at all. It was actually not ignorance, but Jeff and Shaleia weren't aware of something. And so Charlie gets punished until they become aware. No, that's not my spirituality. And this is not me like taking an axe to Jeff and Shaleia's teachings. This is how I feel, and everyone's free to do what they want. But in my opinion, the better way to approach everyone is assume, if there's an issue going on, that you don't know what it is, and allow time for that to be revealed. And in the meantime, just kind of like surrender there and be like, something's going on. I'm sure it'll be revealed in time. Now, this is different to like, I don't know, if Charlie was like biting them every 5 minutes or like attacking. But if there's just like, even if someone has an attitude, or even if someone is like, this is just a different way of approaching life, is if someone is like having a hard time, if a person or animal is having a hard time, there's gotta be some underlying issue that hasn't come to light yet. And what you want to do is treat the problem like it's the problem, and not treat people and animals like they're the problem. And so this is just my opinion. And I think, like, just for, and why I'm bringing it up in this video is because I've been banned, so has Dan, we've been banned from the Church of Union for over 5 years. And the underlying issues that caused this ban are so ridiculously not like real problems. Like, there's nothing wrong with us as people. There was a lot of stuff, I won't get into it, but there was just a lot of stuff going on that no one was aware of. And so you don't punish people and ostracize them because something hasn't come to awareness yet. Do you see what I'm getting at? Like there's just so many like creative solutions to things, and so much more gentler approaches to life where people don't have to experience such harshness. There's something really off. I don't want this video to be ultra long, but suffice it to say, I just wanted to put this PSA out there that I've been calling for Church of Union reform for years, and I'm not going to stop. Like, and it shouldn't be that surprising if you look at like any early church, or like there's always arguments and disagreements about how the teaching should be spread and who should have access to it and how to approach it. And like, it's very normal for these kinds of clashes to be happening. There's not even a clash happening, but what I'm saying is it's not like a weird thing for me to be so fundamentally opposed to what's going on. So there's no reason for Dan and I to be banned at all. The First Unitarian Society in Madison that Dan and I have been going to for almost 2 years now, they have in their booklet, one of their principles is that no one should be subjected to arbitrary arrest, detention, or exile. And the reason that I want the Church of Union to adopt this, because the reason that's so important is because every second of someone's life is important. And we need to be way more careful. And things need to be processed way faster. So in conclusion, I'm just gonna do a little card reading to kind of wrap up the energy of this video. This is from the Work Your Light Oracle card deck by Rebecca Campbell. Pretty classic there. And one of the things I have been saying recently is, like, I noticed that after church tea times, there's not many